Still to my brother, what's happening?
Hey, fantasy, it's session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a ban the kicker, we need that correction. Swap them out, we flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, it's session.
Yeah.
What up, Joe? We back.
What it is, hope is what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy in Session of Podcast. Today is November the 12th, 2021. Carlos couldn't be here with us today, but me and Javar got y'all. We're gonna hold it down. Part 2 of that week 10 episode. The best fantasy podcast out here. Tell a friend and tell a friend. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't checked out the YouTube, make sure you check us out on YouTube. We answering starts and sits during the episodes. How you been, Javar? What's going on, good brother?
Hanging in there, man. It's a Friday. Spoke to my mentor today. He said, man, you got to get things rolling. You can no longer work 5 days a week. You need to work 6 days a week.
What? What kind of mentor is that?
Hey, he said I need to get in the lab and do research 6 days a week. So I'm going to up that up a little bit. Well, a lot of bit.
How you feel about Thursday night football, though? It was a pretty atrocious game out there. Lamar Jackson, he put up a little dud. That touchdown to Mark Andrews helped save his day. But Tua came out there in relief of Jacoby Brissett. So shout out to all the people that started Jacoby Brissett by accident. I was, saying one of those guys because that didn't expect Tua to come in off the bench and replace him. So yeah, man. But were you affected by any of those players last night? I remember you before the show you was talking a little bit about Bateman. How you feel about him going forward? What he had last night? Another 8 targets.
8 targets, cost 6 on for like 8 yards. So he got you. 80 yards. So he got you like 80 yards. So he got you like almost 12 points or something like that. So and this is 4th game playing. And he's been getting a good solid amount of Lamar targets ever since he stepped on the field from the injury. So, in dynasty-wise, I'm loving this, bro. He's looking like he's going to be a clear-cut producer, and Lamar is targeting him. And so, yeah, I'm liking Bateman for real.
It looking like they people, what's that, like the second game now, Lamar just been bottled up back there. Without a real running game out there, they're pretty much they was on Lamar Jackson ass last night. I don't know if it was because it was Thursday night or what it was, but
but they wanted all the smoke.
They put a lot of people behind last night. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had a lot of Ravens out there. The only person that really sustained you a good day of a Ravens, the only person that really sustained you a good day is really what's your boy name? Let's go, Mark Andrews. Jalen Waddle performed good. Miles Gaskins didn't kill you.
But
that's about it.
Right.
That's about it, bro. Let's see. We got a little question before we get started. What's up? Not a question. It's just Carlos. That picture kill me every time. Oh, Mike Gesicki. And he dropped a lot of at one point he had like 8 targets and
he
0 catches.
Donut, bro. Donut. That's crazy.
Oh man! And it wasn't even like he wasn't getting targeted. Tua came off the bench and threw 350 yards or something like that.
He did his thing, and that's right after. Well, on the app, I kind of caught out Tua. It's like I think Tua, a quality NFL player. They try to put him out there with Burrow and hurt him. Like he ain't got the offense they got or the tools. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, he put up decent numbers for what he got. So and then Tua came out the bench and did that. So. I'm looking forward to he had like 158 yards, but 13.
What did I say?
250, something like that. Yeah, he threw 13 passes, completed 8 for 158 yards.
That's not bad in the relief. Let's get to some of the news out there. He's not those exactly. Alvin Kamara is out Sunday. That's probably the biggest news. That is Hopefully you can, if you could, or probably I don't even know. Mark Ingram probably been off the waiver wire now.
Yeah.
But man, shout out to everybody that has Mark Ingram. I'm pretty sure he'll have a good game. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are both questionable. Trevor Siemian will still get the start for the Saints. Tannehill is dealing with an illness. He is expected to play, but he is on the injury reserve list, so that's be on the lookout for that. Logan Thomas won't play, so that's another Ricky Seals-Jones week. Let's see. It's a game time decision for Chris Godwin. AB and Gronk will be out.
I think AB out, or her AB out. Gronk is out too.
That's what I said. It's a game time. I just said that.
Oh, I thought you said it's
game time decision for Godwin. Godwin. Nick Chubb is also out. Let me see. Chris Carson is out. Deebo Samuel is expected to play.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. So if you don't hear the game that you're looking for on this episode, make sure you go back to the last episode and make sure you make all the proper pivots. Also, if you put in comments on Twitter, we can't see them unless you come to YouTube and subscribe over there. Shout out to James Martin, man. Make sure you subscribe and like the podcast. What's going on with you, Brody? Would y'all start Drake, Ingram, Crowder, or Myers?
I don't.
Ingram.
I think Drake getting a little uses, but I just still don't trust him yet.
I like Drake. Yeah, like three. He has three solid games in a row.
But the other two that was saved by a touchdown. Well, one game he had 14 carries. Then the last game he had 8 targets, caught 6 of those for 70. So Ingram, if Ingram. Because
I like Ingram though.
He's out. Yeah, he's gonna get all the usage. You know they're gonna run the football. They don't even have a starting quarterback. So yeah, Ingram for
Carlos
sure.
Says Ingram
I forgot
too.
he was out. I forgot Kamara was out there quick.
I just said that.
I know.
Now, you talked about me before the episode, what you need to be doing. But anyway, if y'all have any more questions, man, we'll give an 8-second moment of silence out there to all the Black Kings and Queens. And we bet. All right, man, let's get into what the people are here for. What's the first game we got? Jags versus the Colts?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jags versus the Colts, man. So for the starts for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I have Trevor Lawrence. He is expected to play on Sunday after experiencing that ankle injury in Week 9. He is the quarterback 23 on the year. Has now scored 3 games with 15 or less fantasy points on the year. He now gets the Colts, who are averaging the 3rd most fantasy points to the quarterback position on the season. And over the last 4 weeks, they have allowed the 2nd most fantasy football points to the quarterback position. The touchdown department is where they struggle at. That's the Jaguars, that is. But the Colts are they are allowing the 2nd most touchdowns to quarterbacks over the last 4 games, at least 2 a game. I feel like, this could be a great breakout week for your boy Trevor Lawrence. James Robertson is expected to be back, so he's healthy. You got to put him in your lineup. Dan Arnold, since week 6, if you don't include his bye week, he is 6th among tight ends in targets with 18 and 3 weeks, and through the 3 weeks, and 5th in receptions with 14. He hasn't reached the end zone this year, so he don't have that touchdown deodorant. That'll always be his pitfall. But he has led the team the last 2 weeks in targets, yards, and catches. The Colts are allowing the 3rd most fantasy points to the tight end position over the last 4 weeks. I like Dan Arnold this week. Some fringe players I got for the Jags. Jamal Agnew, after that 12-target Week 8 performance, he followed that up with a 5-target performance against the Bills. We really expected that because it's the Bills. But this week he get matched up against Kenny Moore. He's allowing a 77% catch rate. And he's graded a 59 by PFF. It's just, you never know where the targets are going to go out there in Jacksonville. I don't know. If I have something else, last week, coming off the 12 targets, it was like, oh, man, you have to start him. But now it's like, I don't know. Marvin Jones, go ahead. How you feel about him? I know that's
French flex plays. Damn near desperate plays at this moment to me.
Yeah. Marvin Jones got him also as on the fringe, suffered from the low scoring Bills game also, and he gets Xavier Rose in coverage, and he hasn't been as dominant as the Xavier Rose that we remember, but he's given up a 70% catch rate. I can see Marvin Jones getting into the end zone. The Colts are allowing 200 yards a game to the wide receiver position over the last 4 weeks. I got Laviska Shenault as a sit. He just hasn't been what we expected him to be this year. He hasn't reached the end zone all year, and he hasn't gone over 55 yards. He has gone over 55 yards just one time this year. He does have 18 targets in the last 3 weeks, but 10 of those came from one game where he failed to even reach 10 fantasy points. So I just don't even think he has any fantasy value right now. And that sucks because everybody thought he was going to be the sugar honey iced tea. You know what I mean?
I could have Mike Williams instead of Laviska Shenault.
Damn. On the other side of the ball, we got the Colts. Of course, we're going to go ahead and start Carson Wentz. He has now thrown 10 touchdowns since week 6. That's crazy. Last week, he threw the ball 30 times for 272 yards, and he had another 3 touchdown performance. He has only thrown 3 interceptions all year. He's quietly having a great year. He probably should be like comeback player of the year type shit. The Jags are allowing the 9th most fantasy points to the quarterback position on the year. Jonathan Taylor is saving teams and carrying teams to the championship week by week.
Right there.
Over 100 all-purpose yards in each game since week 4, and he has 9 touchdowns during that span. So he's just Derrick Henry.
He's not scoring touchdowns. Remember that? Jonathan Taylor not scoring touchdowns. I remember all that crying.
Bananas right now.
Facts.
I can't believe I traded him.
I appreciate it.
Michael Pittman, that second year breakout has officially happened for Pittman. He is now the number 9 ranked wide receiver in half-point PPR leagues. He leads the team in yards, targets, and touchdowns. He's also tied for 10th in the league with 19 red zone targets. So, of course, you're going to start him. He's every week starter now. Some fringe players I got. Nyheim Hines. He got his first 100-yard game last week. 10 touches, 108 yards, 74 of those yards coming on 6 carries. And he was able to find the end zone. So, of course, he put up a big game. But, of course, his ceiling is always capped now with JT just being so dominant. Jacksonville is allowing around 4 catches a game out of the backfield. JT is seeing around 3 targets a game. So, he's eating into Hines' production in the passing game also. But it's a good chance that this game could get out of hand, even though we did see the Jaguars come out there and put something on the Buffalo Bills. So you don't know what Jaguars you're gonna get, but with the running back landscape being how it is, I don't feel bad about starting Nyheim Hines. Hell, I'm starting him this week.
Right? French flex play.
Another fringe flex play I got. Zach Pascal now has 21 targets in the last 3 weeks. I know it's gross because it's Zach Pascal, but 21 targets is 21 targets. He caught 12 of them for 115 yards combined. He hasn't reached the end zone since week 2. But with the Jags allowing 195 yards per game, he does offer some PPR value in deeper dynasty leagues, pretty much. And he has 5 fewer red zone targets than Pittman this year. So I do like Pascal if you're in a pinch. Sits T.Y. Hilton and Colts tight ends. I know how we feel about Mo Alley Cox, but it's over for that.
What up, Justin?
What do you say? What was the question? God damn, boy. Jamal just want to touch shit. He ain't never touched shit before. You get to wait till Carlos not be here, start touching shit. Dearness Johnson or Josh Jacobs in full PPR leagues. I probably still go Josh Jacobs, but you gotta start your studs.
I guess another thing, Deontay Johnson.
Who is Deontay Johnson? Oh, is it Deontay Johnson?
I think.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking it's the running back though.
I'm probably starting. I feel like it's Dearness, man.
If it's Dearness, I'm starting Josh Jacobs. But if it's Deontay Johnson,
he had 22 carries last time against Denver.
Yeah, he said the Browns running back. So yeah, I'm still going Josh Jacobs. You start your studs.
Yeah, I agree. Josh Jacobs.
He also has Gore, Bowden, Scott, Ty Johnson. Pick one. I don't like Gore. He hasn't really been getting the ball. Bowden, I like Bowden. You got to pay attention to the news, though. Carlos actually said Dearness in that situation over
Right,
Josh
I'm
Jacobs.
just not. Dearness had 22 carries, and Josh Jacobs getting around 17 carries, 9 carries. Last couple games.
Josh Jacobs. I'm still going Josh Jacobs. But with this Gore, Bowden, Scott, Ty Johnson, I do like Bowden if the other two running backs are out, obviously.
Bowden, then Ty Johnson for me. In that order, Bowden, then Ty Johnson. And with Dearness Johnson, he was hot last week. They gonna run the football. I just feel more comfortable with him. But
you feel more comfortable with Dearness Johnson?
Drake, it's been a change of
coaching.
You've seen one
game. You've seen one.
No, it's been the last couple games.
No, I'm talking about and Josh Jacobs had to. What do you mean? I'm confused what you're trying to say.
He got injured the other game, and then last game he only got 16 carries, where Dearness got 22 carries when he took over. When Hunt and
they're playing the Patriots.
Yeah, so they're gonna run the football. Both of them play the same way. They ain't gonna stop running the football. They played Denver last time.
I think the Patriots are more likely to stop Dearness Johnson. We've seen a Dearness Johnson bad game, and Dearness Johnson, what his bad game is going to be, what his floor is. I mean, what his floor is going to be, it is way lower than what Josh Jacobs' floor could ever be.
I'll put it like this: Josh Jacobs is the safer. But
you drafted Josh Jacobs for a reason. You play Josh Jacobs.
All right, you said what you said. Josh Jacobs has a better floor, but Dearness Johnson has a higher ceiling. So that's where you got to go with that, bro. If you just need
Josh Jacobs is
points.
playing the Chiefs.
Okay,
that's crazy. Hey, go.
We got a couple more questions.
Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Van Jefferson, part 2. Start 2. I have 4 starters on bye, 1 out. I don't know what the Van Jefferson situation is, so it's hard for me to go with him. I do like Ayuk. I'm gonna talk about him a little later on the episode, but I do like Ayuk. And I mean, Elijah Moore breakout, like we mentioned on the last episode, has been with Corey Davis being out, and Corey Davis is expected to play this week. But hell, OBJ is there now, and it's a Monday night game, and he got projected points now, so I feel like he could be playing.
I like Ayuk and Elijah Moore.
I like Ayuk and Moore, yeah.
Moore got a higher ceiling. Moore is more volatile, but like you said, you have 4 starters on bye and 1 out, so you need people with higher ceiling, and I feel like Ayuk and Elijah Moore will give you a more higher ceiling, where Van Jefferson is a good 7.
And they're saying OBJ it might play on Monday. Yeah, like I was saying, he got projected points on Sleeper right now. So you got the projected points. You're probably gonna be playing. Rest in peace to Van Jefferson, bro. That sucks for him, man. He was just starting to come along. But I think like we was mentioning in the last episode, I think it might the order of the pecking order in that offense now goes. You know what I'm saying? Of course, once OBJ gets acclimated, Cooper, OBJ, Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is now about to become Van Jefferson.
I don't know. We're going to see. I think it's going to just be spread it out.
That shit is crazy. And if they do not win this year, like, why did you do all that? Do they even have draft picks anymore? Like, they really playing Madden right now. That's crazy.
You got to do.
All right. What's the next game we got? We got the Vikings at the 2.5 point favorited Chargers with an over-under of 53.5 points. They expect this to be a big game. Kirk Cousins, how do you feel about Kirk Cousins against those Chargers this week? The Chargers, I think they're giving up a lot on the run game. Dalvin Cook is still expected to be started. You know what I'm saying? We ain't no gossip website or nothing like that, so we ain't gonna get on to what your boy. I don't know what that ain't
TMZ, you know what I mean?
That shit looks crazy for your boy. I don't know what the hell I said, and then I said.
I was like, I just need more information. I'm just waiting to sit for more information, but front that is wow, my boy. But on the Kirk Cousins, man, he's gonna have back-to-back now in games, throwing less than 200 yards and was saved his output last week with a rushing TD. So, the Chargers are allowing the second fewest points to quarterbacks. He's a sit-in-1 quarterback with leagues and a fringe starter in quarterback 2 leagues. Like we said, Dalvin Cook has been in the headlines, but the NFL has yet to act on it. If Cook plays his for sure starter, he's had 328 rushing yards in the last 3 games. If he does not play, Madison is a for sure starter. The Chargers are allowing 11 most points in PPR leagues to running backs. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen have a tough matchup this weekend. The Chargers are allowing the 3rd fewest points to wide receivers. But nevertheless, you start both your studs. Thielen has scored in every game this season but 2, and Justin Jefferson has scored over 10 points in every game but 1 this season. So you're starting those guys. On to Tyler Conklin. He has been targeted 7 times in the last 2 games, each of the last 2 games, and has passed Osborne as the 3rd option on the team right now. Conklin is not going to give you numbers, big numbers, but he's going to give you a solid floor each week, around 10 points or so. And the Chargers are allowing around 15 points to tight end each week. You start him, this could be his biggest week yet. On to the other side of the ball, we got Justin Herbert. Only Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson has scored over 18.6 points against the Vikings defense, but Herbert bust out the shell last week against the Eagles defense that was only allowing the 4th fewest points to quarterbacks before Herbert bust out last week. Nevertheless, you starting Herbert, of course. Eckler is the number 3 running back on the year and seeing around 7 targets per game. Must start every week. Keenan Allen is averaging around 10 targets per game and is a must start each week. Mike Williams, is time to worry about Mike. He's played poorly.
Hey, boy.
Hot start
just when you fucking want to get happy, boy. Just when you started to get happy.
I mean, he still got a little champ, but
they're looking crazy for that man out there.
Some of those games, Herbert wasn't looking good himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's just Herbert things and Mike things. So, but we're gonna find out. Mike Williams is seeing less than 6 targets in 4 of the past 6 games and has gone over 60 yards once out of those 6 games. So that's wild. Williams has a great matchup this weekend to get back on track as the Vikings are allowing 7 most points to wide receivers. Williams deserves a wide receiver to start, but this may be his last time before we start bumping dude down, man.
I think if he don't produce this week, we have to start thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Jared Cook, he does not bring much upside. He's been targeted around 6 times per game, but only scored and went over 50 yards twice this year. The Vikings are allowing the 5th fewest points to tight ends, so you sitting him. That's pretty much I got on that game.
Yep. I like it. Not mad at Waddle. Yeah, I'm not mad at Waddle either. Mr. Grapefruit, shout out to my homie. Every time I think that's Jesus too, but now that it's Matthew McConaughey, I be like, that's me up all the time. But appreciate you for coming back, Brody. Start 2 of the 3 wide receivers. So we got Deontay Johnson, Scary Terry, or Amari Cooper.
I know I'm starting.
I like Deontay Johnson.
For sure.
Oh, that's good for sure. I like Amari Cooper against the Falcons. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. Let me make sure. We talked about the Washington episode last episode.
I'm just trying to look real quick. I know I'm starting Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I'm starting Deontay. Yeah, Deontay Johnson and Amari Cooper. They play the Bucks play they play the Bucks. Scary Terry play the Bucks. So I like anybody that's not playing the Bucks opportunity, even though he probably still gets he still will get the targets, but I do not like Tyler Heineke against that Buccaneer defense.
That's him, bro. I gotta go Deontay Johnson and McLaurin, man. McLaurin is a target hard. He gonna get all the targets. If he give you 7 points, you just live with it. And he gonna get 13 targets or more. Whereas Cooper has been so volatile this year, from getting 3 targets to 13 targets. So it's gonna be a pass happy game, high scoring game.
I think the Falcons versus the Cowboys is gonna be a pass happy game too.
No. We already know how about Amari Cooper and the Falcons gonna be a pass happy game.
Why you won't want that?
Yeah, that's why I got it, bro. Deontay Johnson.
That's what I said. And Amari Cooper. That's what I said. Why you say you disagree?
Well, I thought you said Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, and then Terry McLaurin. My bad.
So what's the two you starting? I'm starting Johnson and Cooper.
I'm starting.
Yeah, so you got to agree. So you just said that it's going to be a lot of passes, but you don't want that game.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of passes, but I don't know if Cooper get 5-8, still going to be a decent game, but I just feel like McLaurin got a safe floor but a higher ceiling.
I like Amari Cooper and Deontay Johnson. My favorite basketball team is Big Dub Nation. Go Steph Curry.
Yeah. Growing up, I've been more of just like to watch people play, but now we got a superstar in the A. Hawks for me, you feel me? Trae Young all day, Trae the gang. I know we going through a rough patch, but
hey, Carlos, that's the same shit I was thinking. Tell me you have Terry McLaurin on your team without telling me you have Terry McLaurin, because that was the most non-objective fucking pick ever. Like, what are you talking about? You just told me that the Buccaneers, who don't let anybody run the ball on them, are
right, but they've been out corners all year. Everybody been passing on them. So
man, I'm always going Dak in the better offense. I don't know when we stop not going to the better offense, but hey, that's what you said. But Terry, he got him starting somewhere. Man, it's really crazy.
They about to have Gallup back. They got a whole. They
got a whole starting make some shit up, boy.
I'm just saying they got a whole starting 5. Gallup seen like 8 targets in week 1. Then he went out and Cooper went crazy.
What did Amari Cooper do?
I said he went out and Cooper went crazy, but
all right, what we talking about, man? They played us. Now all of a sudden the Falcons don't got a cupcake defense, and we want to start people that don't play the Falcons.
You hear me say that.
I did. On to the next game. Is it the next game? Were we done with that game?
Yep.
All right, on to the next game. One more question. Shout out to Psycho Scout. Debo or Deontay Johnson? Ow, you can't start both of those guys?
Right. What's going on here?
Carlos also says the Cowboys Falcons had the highest projected points total this week. Yeah, cool story. Hey, don't start Terry over Amari Cooper, bro. Debo or Deontay Johnson, though. That I don't know. You can't start both. Why? Can you tell me why you can't start both? But if I had to choose, Debo probably will see a lot of your boy Jalen Ramsey this week, so that's kind of why I like Ayuk. Probably Deontay Johnson, bro. I think they're both. I don't think he'll be like hurt either way it goes. Honestly,
I think Deontay Johnson. Claypool not playing, bro. He gonna get them targets.
Yeah, I know Deontay Johnson, but if you go Debo, I wouldn't be mad. I would still try to put both of them in there. You start your studs.
Yeah, you gonna be mad, but he gonna be mad. Not saying Debo gonna put up a dub, but you see what they just did with the defense. Von Miller. Then they already got crazy. Yeah,
but it's not like, but I still like both of them.
And you know they're gonna be in Big Ben face all day.
We got Carolina at the Arizona. What's their name? The Arizona Cardinals with a 10-point favorite at Cardinals, but I think the line has changed because I think we have what's your boy
PJ Walker
expected to play. And PJ Walker starting. So let me look at the new updated line so we can see what Vegas is expecting. It's still now it's 10-point. 10-point underdogs. The Cardinals still 10-point underdogs. I read that wrong. PJ Walker, he's expected to start. We're gonna sit him though. Of course, you're gonna start CMC and DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson, he's also a start. It was bad enough when he was averaging double-digit targets and not producing any relevant weeks. Now that he's seen 1 and 3 targets over the last 2 weeks for 2 total yards, that's probably the grossest shit I ever heard. It makes him impossible to even start him. You can actually drop him if you want to, bro. On the other side of the ball, of course, we obviously going to start Kyler Murray. Thank God that he's back. DeAndre Hopkins, of course, if he's back, we're going to play him. James Conner, man, he went bananas last week. I got him just off like on the back end of some trade shit. It was crazy. With Edmonds out the next few weeks with that high ankle sprain, James Conner will be operating as that lead back there. So I like James Conner going forward.
Yeah, I like him this week too. He put up 173 scrimmage yards and scored three touchdowns in 26 opportunities. So you start him each week when you got him on the team in this offense.
Christian Kirk and AJ Green. Kirk becomes more of a fringe start, of course, if Hopkins plays, but Carlos is still fine with playing him. I'm still fine with playing him. How about you, Javon?
Kurt, yeah. Last week he seen 6 targets for 91 yards. That's Hawkins, and that was with McCoy playing. So I really don't mind him as a fringe play in the flex spot, as well as AJ Green as well. I don't mind him as a fringe flex start as well.
Yeah, but I like anything attached to this offense.
If Hopkins is not playing, I'm starting both of those guys. They're solid flex starts if Hopkins is not playing.
Yeah, if Hopkins is playing though, with it expected to be such a low scoring game,
one of them gonna be guarded by what's your boy that got traded from?
Stephon Gilmore. That's also a good point. So if Hopkins is there, then it'll be Hopkins. But if he's not there, then it's gonna be probably locked down on AJ Green. So Christian Kirk. That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. And it's a low-scoring game, and with PJ Walker on the other side of the ball, I can see Christian McCaffrey getting a 200-plus yard. Like, oh my God, I traded for him. Yes, I can see Christian McCaffrey getting a big game, and they just trying to run and keep the ball away from Kyler Murray, because that's pretty much all they're going to be able to do to win, or to even keep that game close, to give them an opportunity until Cam gets ready. Some fringe starts for the Cardinals. We got Zach Ertz since joining the team in week 7. Ertz is averaging 4.6 targets, 45 yards a game. Likely majority of the tight ends, Ertz is touchdown dependent. The only double-digit point he had was when he scored that touchdown in week 7. He's not seeing as many red zone targets as he's used to. Only 2 red zone targets and 0 end zone targets since joining the team. But he is pretty involved in the offense. He's nothing more than just one of those tight end dependent tight ends. If you're looking to stream one, the Panthers are allowing the 12th fewest points to the tight end position. So I wouldn't force him in your lineup if you didn't have to.
I agree.
Anything else?
I agree.
My boy, let's say Psycho said, I only have 3 wide receivers and I already put Hollywood in. Damn, man, Hollywood probably let you down, my boy. But who the other one then? So who's the other option? On to the next game. We got the Eagles at the 2.5-point favorite at Broncos with an over-under of 45 points. We got the Eagles starts. I got Jalen Hurts, man. Last week he only threw the ball 17 times. 11 of those, he completed 11 of those for only 162 yards, and he had a touchdown. He contributed on the ground like he always does with that 62 yards rushing. So he did finish as a QB1 after last week, or the week before, week 8, his first week, not finished as a QB1 at all, but only getting into that QB12 position. So he just snuck in, man. You just can't be a quarterback throwing the ball 17 times in the NFL. That's like ridiculous. That's like worse than when people will hate Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? After that,
if you telling me a quarterback throwing the ball 17 times a game, I'm thinking they ain't running the wing too.
Yeah, something like that. It should look like Georgia Tech out there. But of course, you know what I'm saying, that ceiling is always going to be capped, but he runs the ball so much and so efficiently. He's only had 1 game with less than 40 yards rushing. He's only had 2 games with less than 40-yard rushing this year. So, I mean, there's no way you consider him. He is the definition of a Konami code. So until they don't start him, we have to keep rolling him out there, man. Even with his he could come out there and throw the ball 10 times. You know what I mean? And with Jordan Howard coming on, they all of a sudden want to run the ball now that Miles Sanders is out. But I did see news that Miles Sanders did kind of practice this week. So I expect him to be back next week, hopefully. Week 9, we saw Howard and that black visor of his, that roll expand. He rushed the ball 17 times for 71 yards, and he had a touchdown. Since week 5, the Broncos have allowed 111 yards per game with 4 touchdowns in that stretch. So I do like Jordan Howard this week. Dallas Goddard, I also have him as a start. Since week 7, he's compiled 18 targets, caught 12 of them for 185 yards. He just hasn't gotten into the end zone, but he has had double-digit fantasy points in 2 out of those 3 weeks, unlike Zach Ertz that we mentioned in the game before. So I do like Dallas Goddard this week. Fringe players I got for the Eagles, Boston Scott in week 9. He was used more of a spell back. We expected him to be the leading back in week 8, and then they came out there and just totally whoop. I mean, no, he wasn't expected to be the week 8 lead back. Then we expected him to be the week 9 lead back. Then it is, and then Jordan Howard and that Black Bowser came out there and just took over the game. So I just don't think you can start him, but he did play over 40% of the snaps. He rushed the ball 10 times. He didn't get any pass work, and that could be just because Jalen Hurts is not going to throw the ball, which is totally weird, but whatever, bro. Over the last 4 weeks, the Broncos have allowed the 7 most receiving yards to the running back position. So if Boston Scott does receive those targets that he's used to receiving, well, not this year, but you know what I'm saying, what Boston Scott is known for, I could see him getting a good game, maybe popping off a big catch. He is locked into those 10 guaranteed touches. So if you just in the pinch, I don't feel bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to start him, but if you're in the pinch, I know what that running back situation is looking like out there. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to roll with what you got. Smoke him if you got him. Devonta Smith, still the number 1 target out there in Philly. But that doesn't mean much when your quarterback throws the ball 17 times. But he did have his best fantasy performance, 5 catches, 116 yards, caught a touchdown.
Super
Broncos, yeah, super efficient. See, that's how efficient you got to be when you don't get throwing the ball 17 times and completing what I say, 11 of them or something crazy like that. He should see Darby and Mike Ford, who are allowing over a 60% catch, both when targeted. But he has that boomer bust risk baked into him with that quarterback play. So hopefully, you know what I mean, he gets into the end zone, but I don't think I would start him if I didn't have to.
French flex play for me.
On the other side of the ball, we got Broncos, Melvin Gordon. I got him to start solidifying his place as that RB1 role in Denver against Dallas. 22 touches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. He's now had 4 touchdowns over the last 3 games. Philly is allowing around 85 yards on the ground and allowing the 11 most fantasy points to the running back position. So I like him. Javontae Williams also showed us what fantasy owners expect him to be. You know what I'm saying? Once he takes over, 17 carries, on 111 yards rushing. He didn't find the end zone though, but he still was pretty solid. So I do like him.
Yeah, I like him as a flex play.
I think he gives you a safe floor.
Yeah.
And if he gets into the end zone, that's always a bonus. Noah Fant activated from the COVID list. He's expected to play on Sunday. Of course, you start him. Fringe players, man. I got pretty much all of the Broncos wide receivers. Cortland Sutton, ever since Jay Judy's been back, even though it is a small sample size, only 2 games. He's only put up four targets performance in last week game and 2 target performance in week 9. So 4 targets in week 8 and then 2 targets in week 9. And last week he only caught 1 ball. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much a stinker. So like I said, it's only been 2 games, but the 2 games is when Jerry Judy has been back. So it's like, the game plan had been to run the ball the last 2 weeks. Also, they was trying to keep Dak Prescott off the field. That's why Melvin Gordon and Javontae Williams did go off. So that could also be it. But that shit is crazy, bro. 2 targets.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get that bounce back. He got a good matchup this week. So, you know what I mean? How you feel about Cortland Sutton?
Yeah, I think he's you're spot on with him. He's at the moment he's a fringe flex play. If you got somebody with a better matchup and safer, I would play them over Cortland Sutton, but you probably don't. So he's at least a flex play. I think Judy is a locked in flex play. His first week he got 4 targets, caught all of those 39 yards, and then his second week playing. He got 8 targets, caught 6 of those for 69 yards. What a number. So I think you can count on Judy to at least give you a solid flex floor. Tim Patrick is going to be boom bust this week now.
This is not your game. Yeah, man. Well, anyway, Jabbar just took my game over and told y'all anyway, so y'all just go off with Jabbar, whatever Jabbar said. On to the next game. Who we got? We got the Seahawks at the 3.5 point favorite at Packers with an over under of 50. Russell Wilson is expected to be back after breaking the middle finger. That's kind of crazy. Hold on. I also putting in Mike Evans. He's popping off. Yeah, Mike Evans definitely got to go in your lineup, bro.
Facts. Without AB there and possibly without Godwin there, Mike Evans.
Nobody there is looking like.
Start. Tyler Johnson, if Godwin is out, might be a good start too. Oh,
how do you feel about that Seahawks game? The starters now, Tyler Lockett should get a jump now that Russell Wilson is back.
Right. Russell Wilson, he's averaged around 27 points per game through the first 4 starts before going out in the 5th game with that injury. So you know you're going to start that stud. Chris Carson averaged around 14 points per game through 3 starts and scored 3 touchdowns. He has been activated. Chris Carson. He has been activated off. Yeah, he has been activated off IR, but he has yet to play the game or to be
they say he's out.
Practice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Collins is battling a groin issue, but it's still expected to start. Collins has averaged around 15 touches per game and 11 points per game since Carson went out. So you feel safe rolling him out there as a flex play. But with Russell Wilson back, Collins is worth a running back 2 spot, as Green Bay are giving up 23 points per game to the running back group. DK Metcalf has maintained his wide receiver 1 status without Russ, so he's a must start every week. With Russ back, that it's a good sign and good music to all people who have Lockett shares, man. Lockett would never be consistent from week to week, but with Russ back, he is always worth a start because he can just pop up and win you a week. Even with Green Bay allowing the 9th fewest points to wide receivers, you still start Lockett in the flex unless you have a better player with a better matchup. So that's what I got there. On the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers back. Mama, there go that man. Rodgers is quarterback number 11 on the year after sitting out 1 game and scoring under 2 points in another game. Start that stud. Aaron Jones, man, this is since Aaron Jones outburst game, scoring 38.5
since Jabbar traded for him.
Facts. Since his blow-up game, he has averaged around 13 points per game from week 3 through week 9. Dillon is really eating into his touches. He's averaging around 11 touches per game during that span to Jones 17. Jones is now in every week running back 2 instead of 1, but he still has some boom with him each week. The Seahawks are allowing the 3rd most points to the running back group this year, so Dillon is worth the flex play, and he should get at least around 8 points for you. And you already know you're starting Aaron Jones. On to the wide receivers. Devontae Adams has been a must this year when Rodgers is playing. Start your stud. Lazard has scored 3 straight touchdowns in 3 straight games, but has averaged less than 3 targets in that span. The Seahawks are allowing the 11 fewest points to the wide receiver group. So Lazard is a fringe flex play. Cobb is always a desperate play. And that pretty much wraps up that game. You got anything extra?
Nope. I like it. On to Sunday night. Sunday. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Right. Yeah. Sunday night football. We got the 2.5 point favorite Chiefs against the Raiders with an over/under of 51.5 points. It's a lot of points to be expected. Of course, we're gonna start Mahomes. Last week, as an obvious start, if he stinks it up, now for the 4th week, it'll be pretty gross. We probably have to start talking about. We're not even going to mention that because it's Patrick Mahomes, man. It's still Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce, of course. Tyreek Hill, of course, the usual suspects. Daryl Williams, CEH is not expected to play. He did return to practice, so that is a good sign. But they say there's a stretch for him to play this week. So let's see.
I mean, I think if CEH is not playing, you could start him. Williams is averaging around 19 opportunities and 82 scrimmage yards with averaging 13 points and half PPR leagues. That's solid back running 2 production, and you expect to see the same thing this week against the Raiders. So I think he's at least worth the flex play. Darrell Williams in leagues. And that's pretty much it for that side, ain't it?
Yeah, you don't really want to do anything else with that side. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, we got obvious starters, Daryl Williams and Josh Jacobs. They like Dearness over Josh Jacobs. I don't know why. Hold on. Go ahead. Talk right quick because I want to look up this stat.
Oh, yeah. So, you obvious start is Waller, Josh Jacobs. Then you're moving on to Carr. He had a down game last week, but it's in a great opportunity to bounce back against the Chiefs as they're allowing the second most points to quarterback. Carr has scored 19 or more points in 5 of his 8 games. And he's third in big time throws, 10th in the lowest turnover worthy play. So I think he's a solid start up against the Chiefs. As far as Kenyon Drake, you're definitely starting Jacobs, but Drake has been on fire lately. What'd you say?
I like Drake too. So I got it here. Over the last 4 weeks since week 5, the Chiefs have allowed 101 yards on the ground per game, or the average 101 yards on the ground per game. They haven't given up a touchdown on the ground, so that's why the fantasy point allowed is so low. But they have also averaged, I think this is probably going to be the most. What's this? The top 5 in targeted running backs out of the backfield, and they've given up on average 7 catches a game with 54 yards to the running back. So I like both of them this week. I know y'all started the earnest, but I like Drake and Josh, or Drake and whatever homeboy name is.
I mean, it's just like Drake is eating into the backfield like a good bit. Before then, Josh Jacobs was like dominating, and now he's not really dominating. Where Dearness Johnson is going to dominate all the touches. So that's and that ceiling that he has a higher ceiling than Josh Jacobs to me. But yeah, I agree.
I don't see how y'all can say that. I don't see that's some crazy shit to say to me, that a backup has a higher ceiling than Josh Jacobs. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it.
You watched the game when Chubb and Hunt was out. You didn't see the guy that was.
He did that one time. I also have seen Josh Jacobs do this shit as a starter. He's not a starter for a reason.
You didn't see that game.
He's not a starter for a reason.
You see Josh Jacobs losing touches each week to Drake. You see Josh Jacobs.
No, he's not losing. Bro. I don't see it.
Okay, I mean.
No, I don't see that.
I mean, but yeah, I'm fine with starting both Josh Jacobs running back 2. Obviously, Kenyon Drake is a decent flex play. This game has shootout capabilities, so don't mind Drake in there. Hunter Renfrow, he's seen 7 targets in 6 of his 8 games so far, and is averaging around 6.7 points in PPR leagues with no longer Ruggs, the team, and Edwards, man. Bro, he's let me down. He's even become a non-factor in some games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Renfrow is one of the safest and consistent players for Carr this year. He's been a good and dominant wide receiver 3 for people who have owned him this year. So he's a great flex play every week. And that's pretty much the game.
Trying to get rid of Zach Moss and Damian Harris for DJ Moore. I don't mind that. That's not a bad trade. If you need a wide receiver, you must got a lot of running backs. If you can give up 2, that's the only thing I would say, because it's normally I would never have that many running backs to give it up. You guys still going for this? I think Johnson has a better upside, but Jacobs has a good floor. But I am going Johnson because they are a run-heavy team, and I got Waller and Clarkson. Who is Clarkson?
I think he meant Carson. Chris Carson.
Carson who?
Chris Carson.
Chris Carson is out.
Right. So
yeah, he's not playing. So if Chris Carson not playing, so that means you can play both of them.
Carson Wentz, I don't know.
But so if Chris Carson is not playing, that means you can play both of them. I don't know, man. We got to ask the people, man. For the people who out there that's listening, would you start right in the chat, man?
Put up a poll on Twitter right after
Dearness Johnson or Clarkson is the kicker. Oh man, bro, we didn't ban kickers,
man. When we first started our pod, we had a hashtag. Every time we would tweet somebody at the end, we'll be like #ban kickers. So that's wild. No wonder we was lost. No wonder we know. Look, bro. Even like so, our fantasy leagues, we don't play with kickers. We don't play with defenses. So when I do play in the league with a defensive kicker, bro, we really don't even draft them. We just usually pick one up. You know what I'm saying? Like I end up picking up. I forgot what defense I started with this year, but I ended up picking up the Cardinals, and they're like one of the best defense in the league. You know, I don't even know if I got a kicker.
I don't even. Yeah, I got I think I just drafted Young Wei Ho. I mean, not Young Wei Ho. Young Wei Koo because he played for the Falcons.
That is your kicker for your team, my bro.
What's going on, Deacon? Y'all think I should start Ayuk or Ingram in the flex with Kamara out? I like Ingram in the flex with guaranteed volume with Kamara being out, bro. Go ahead and stay safe.
Just take whatever you can from Ingram, bro. He should fall into the end zone.
Aaron Jones, Zeke, Dearness Johnson, Javontae Harris. Well, yeah, you can trade two running backs for that. Yeah, I would definitely do that trade.
Yeah,
I would definitely do that trade. You need that ASAP.
I haven't did a lot of 10-man leagues, but the ones, I mean, you need the cream of the crop in order to win, bro. It don't matter if you like the people in 12-man leagues that you like, oh, he good. He ain't good in no 10-man league. So,
for sure.
You need the cream
of
the
crop. We'll make sure we do that Johnson Jacobs poll on Twitter, man. Make sure you follow us. Same shit on Twitter, Fantasy in Session. No problem, Deacon, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming back.
Yes,
for sure. That's it for Sunday Night Football.
Yes, sir.
On to Monday night. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. Yeah. The Rams, they're cheating. They're playing
playing Madden in real life.
Hey, well, them boys is. Hey, how much money do they have? Is because I don't understand why the Falcons can't do shit like this. If they can do it, why can't we do it? I feel like that's for every.
Because we paid Matt Ryan and Julio all that money. That's why we traded Julio.
But I'm saying they paying Aaron Donalds, Jalen Ramsey, now OBJ, Matt Stafford. Like, bro, we paying one person. You mean to tell me Matt? I don't understand why my team
in LA. They trying to put on a show out there in LA.
Man, it's gonna be even more worse if they lose, bro.
Yeah, appreciate your follow. Gabe be going crazy with the TikToks. They got they fantasy football funny TikToks. Gabe be going crazy. Sure. So look out for that, bro.
The Ram starters. Oh, before we get also Julio, Godwin, and J-Rob playing. I think Julio's been downgraded to questionable. Godwin is last time I heard was a game time decision, and J-Rob, I think they said he's for sure playing.
Right, he's been limited in practice, and the coach came out and said he's playing this week. J-Rob is. So yeah.
J-Rob's sure. The other two though, I'm not sure. It's looking like Godwin might not play because it's still a game time decision, and he didn't really get that much practice in this week. And Julio, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he never practices, so you never know if this is just his never practice thing or like. Whatever.
So if you in a real pinch and some other people are ugly on your bench, Tyler Johnson will be a decent pickup and play if Godwin is not playing. The GOAT is throwing the ball close to 40 times a game. So the GOAT is Brady, by the way.
Yeah, man. The Rams, of course, we're gonna go ahead and start Matthew Stafford. He had that shaky performance last week. I was under the impression that I was looking at Matthew Stafford playing for the Lions out there. He threw the ball 48 times, 294 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The Titans defense have been pretty stout lately. Especially after they dismantled Patrick Mahomes. So that either that could be an abnormality, or they could be like that, you know what I mean? Because they did that against the Rams too. But this week they get the 49ers, who have been on the back end of the fantasy points allowed to the quarterback position over the last 4 weeks, allowing the 12th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. San Francisco is only allowing an average of 200 passing yards a game, but I definitely expect Matthew Stafford to shoot right through that and expect that QB1 train to keep on rolling. Daryl Henderson, I heard rumors that Cam Akers might be back, but I think that was just rumors. If he comes back,
yeah, they say he flirting with a late comeback. He out there cutting it. He doing more.
Hey, bro,
I told my Achilles.
Whatever under that blue tent, bro, is that shit has to be like
juice.
What they call that shit in Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone or something. Because it's like, bro, they motherfuckers get hurt and they be like laid out. Then they get up, they walk their ass under that blue tent. The blue tent go down, the blue tent come back up. They say, these motherfuckers is ready to go. I be like, bro, what is under? It gotta be like
you know how it be.
What they call that? What's that movie? The fucking Chronicles of Narnia, when he fucking open the closet and they go to like another world and like some fucking magical butterflies, like time doesn't exist, the hyperbolic time chamber or some shit. Like Vegeta and Goku when they went into the hyperbolic time chamber to learn how to turn Super Saiyan 2.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't hip. You don't know about Goku and Vegeta?
Man, I know about him, bro. I watched a little bit Dragon Ball Z, but I ain't have to watch every
But
episode.
you don't know what the hyperbolic time chamber is. You ain't watching the Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, man,
you know, that go like 2 episodes of being the same fight. Oh my god, he just pulled the Super Saiyan 3000.
Right. So you know what?
You be sitting there. You be sitting 3 episodes later. 3 episodes later, all they done did was move left. You be like, bro, I watched the whole episode.
But if you go charge up for like 2 episodes, but I might come punch you in your face, but I can make this big ass ball come out my hand, pause, and you over here charging up, bro. I'm not about to let you get to your maximum level, bro. No, bro. Fucking Goku. How about fucking no? Hey, you practice.
I do watch some anime, but hey, bro, that'd be the funniest though, bro. They just be like, bro, I just watched 3 episodes of them doing nothing. But talking about a move they just did. Oh my goodness, he just did 360.
Telling you why they're doing it. Like, you know what? Fucking Naruto do that shit a lot. They tell you why they're gonna do it, man. For my fucking town, for my country, for my whole community. I wanted to do this. It's my ninja way. Like, bro, shut up and just fight. Anyway, bro, man.
That's what I'm here for. That's what
I came all the way over here to fight, bro. You trying to give me life lessons and shit. Like, bro, what's up? Goddamn, came all the way from fire, bro. You know how far fire the country is from goddamn water, and you over here talking about some goddamn for my country, but I don't give a fuck. Anyway, man, Daryl Henderson, bro, I just went crazy. That's crazy. Look at Carlos. Daryl Henderson last week had a bit of an off week, but it seemed like the Titans put everybody on a bit of an off week. Hendo had 14 touches, 58 yards, and didn't find the end zone, but he has had 4 touchdowns since week 6. This week, he does get the 49ers, who have allowed the 18th fewest fantasy points to the running back position over the last 4 weeks, allowing 95 yards a game on average. That's plenty of space for Hendo to do some work, though, so I'm not scared off of Hendo, so I think you still roll him out there confidently. Cooper Kupp, nothing to say there. He's the wide receiver 1 for a reason. Tyler Higby continues to be a consistent tight end streamer. He's getting the targets. Last week, he saw a season-high 10 targets, catching 5 of them for 51 yards. Like I mentioned last week, he just doesn't find the end zone. He doesn't have that touchdown deodorant that we always talk about. He only has 2 touchdowns on the year and hasn't scored since week 5. The 49ers have been efficient in stopping the tight ends over the last 4 games, allowing the 7th fewest fantasy points to the tight end position. But I think you still roll him out there because volume is key in that tight end landscape. You're not going to find too many tight ends getting the consistent amount of targets as him. Fringe starters, man, Robert Woods. He's been coming off of that last couple of weeks. He's been pretty hot since week 6. He hasn't seen less than 5 targets in the game. He's also had 2 touchdowns in that 4-week span. But the arrival of OBJ, I mean, like I said before, I think it goes Cooper, OBJ, Robert Woods at a certain point. But this week he should still be fine as we await to see what OBJ, you know what I'm saying, what he looks like in the offense, see him get acclimated. What else I gotta say? Over the last 4 weeks, the 49ers are allowing the 10th fewest fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So if you could, I wouldn't try to force either OBJ, Van Jefferson, nobody that you didn't have to into the lineup. Emmanuel Mosley is expected to garner most of the coverage and is graded a 62 by PFF and is allowing a 54% catch rate. So I do like, if you have to, I guess you could, but I wouldn't force him out there. And I got Sitz, Van Jefferson, of course, and OBJ because you just got to wait to see what he do. Shout out to Lori joining us on the podcast.
Hey,
Solo Mama.
He said, "Hey, Woods is a mid wide receiver too. At the moment, Woods is some mid. You feel me?
Woods is big mid. He's smoking on that pet. On the other side of the ball, we got Elijah Mitchell. Mitchell has been impressive in his rookie showing. He's now 15th on the year with 469 yards ran on the ground. Last week was Mitchell's biggest receiving game on the year, caught all 5 of his targets combining last week with 13 targets and 79 yards. Mitchell has had at least 100 yards in 3 of the 6 games he's played this year. That's crazy. But I think anybody in that backfield is going to have that many yards. You know what I'm saying? It's just pick and plug at this point. But he just seems to be the best one out there. I don't know about what that means going forward as far as dynasty, but, you just got to be on the lookout for that. But right now, this year, we are talking about Elijah Mitchell. He's a start for me. Of course, the Rams defense is the Rams defense, and they just got better with Von Jefferson. What did I say? Von Jefferson, Von Miller. So just make sure you temper your expectations on him this week. But I still like Elijah Mitchell. There's not many that you can find without him. Brandon Nyuk, over the last 2 weeks, he's begun to look like that wide receiver we expected him to be. 15 targets in the last 2 weeks. Previously to that, he only had 16 on the whole year. So he's almost matched the amount of targets he's had all year in the last 2 weeks. So that's a great sign. Last week, finding the end zone, I believe it's safe to start trusting him in your lineup again. He's expected to see Rochelle in coverage most of the day. He's allowed a 61% catch rate, especially with Debo being, probably blanketed by Jalen Ramsey for most of the game. If not, probably George Kittle would be guarded by Jalen Ramsey. I feel like it's probably about that time for Debo. If he don't do it this week, man, that shit gonna be so fucking gross. But I think Debo is safe to play this week. Of course, he's gonna play Brandon Ayuk is safe to play this week. Of course, he's gonna play Debo, number wide receiver 4 on the year. But he will probably see Jalen Ramsey. That can never be a good thing. But he hasn't seen less than 8 targets in any game he's played this year. That provides a safe enough floor for me to play him in any week. George Kittle came back and acted like nothing happened, caught 6 of his 8 targets, 101 yards, and had a touchdown. The 49ers fringe players I got, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's now thrown back-to-back 300 plus yard games. It's not looking like we'll be seeing Trey Lance anytime soon. So in redraft, it might be time to drop him if you just need somebody else on your team. I know a lot of us drafted a Jimmy Garoppolo and then Trey Lance to try to catch the Trey Lance magic in the bottle, but I don't see it happening unless they just start tanking and losing a lot of games. The Rams are middle of the pack, allowing the 5th fewest fantasy points to the quarterback position over the last 4 weeks. Jimmy is going to have to air the ball out in order to keep up with that high-powered Rams offense. So with all his weapons back, all 3 of the big 3 for the 49ers, I think it's a safe floor. So if you have to play Jimmy, I think you can play him, especially in 2 QB leagues. 1 QB league, I won't force it. I might go try to look somewhere else. But, yeah, that's pretty much it about that game. Let me see what we got. A question before we get up out of here. Shout out to Javar, his cute baby. Mitchell, Gibson, Mark Ingram, Javontae start 1. Oh, I'll probably start in Mark Ingram, bro, to be honest with you. It'll probably go Mark. Yeah, Ingram, Mitchell, Gibson, Javontae.
Who Mitchell play?
The 49ers, bro. The Rams. I just did a whole thing about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be Gibson. What order do you want? I probably had Gibson.
I said I would go Ingram. We like we mentioned about Gibson, bro. He ain't been nothing.
Yeah, he playing Tampa Bay. Yeah, so you're not.
And he played Tampa Bay. I'm going Ingram, Mitchell, because I just believe that Mitchell is going to run the ball. It's not like he's not going to run the ball because that's what they do in San Francisco. And he looked good doing it, but it's just against the Rams. I don't know if he's going to look as good. But so I'll go Ingram, Mitchell, Gibson, Javontae in that order.
I can dig it.
That was the last game, bro. We got up out of here. Shit. Do I play you anywhere this week?
Nah, I play Carlos everywhere. In a couple leagues, he
Carlos
projected
everywhere.
to beat me like bad. I'm going through it in those leagues. No,
hey, look how sad Javontae.
Gee, bro, it's hard out there, bro. Really ain't playing. Then Kyler Murray want to get hurt,
He
so it's hard
beat me
in those
like
leagues.
bad, bro. Hey, Javardi the hood, bro. Everybody out there, make sure y'all get Javar hood.
And then
he was talking cash money shit beginning of the year. All his
we still good. I'm just saying, people hurt.
You look like you was about to cry.
I got Burrow Mixon on buys on one team. Like that's a lot of production to replace Burrow and Mixon.
Let's see. Oh, we got a couple of things. We got before we get up out of here, there was a poll. We put up a poll. It's still pretty early in the poll, but it is 58% Dearness Johnson to 41% Josh Jacobs. But, hey man, I don't know. I'm still thinking I'm going Josh Jacobs. We got a question on Twitter before we get out of here. Also, we got need 2 in PPR: Woods, Pittman, Lockett, Ayuk, or J-Rob.
Woods, Pittman. You start Pittman.
You start Lockett, Pittman
and Ayuk.
I think I start Pittman and Woods. Is probably no, Pittman and Lockett is what I meant to say. Pittman and Lockett is probably who I start in that matchup. And then he said Russell Wilson or Jalen Hurts.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, probably Russell Wilson too. Yeah, because that 17 times throwing shit, bro, that shit's just pretty gross, man. And I'm getting
Russell
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Solid 20 points, and we got to respond to that on Twitter too, just to make sure everybody get it.
I'm responding to it now.
All right, that's a bet.
Y'all got anything else before we get up out of here? I don't see any more questions. I think we answered everybody.
Got everybody straight.
Appreciate everybody straight. Appreciate y'all for swinging through the session. Pull up next week, same bad time. Well, we can't really say so. Y'all know what kind of operating system we on. Hopefully, good luck to everybody out there. Hopefully, it's not a lot of injuries this week. Fantasy guys, please be kind to us. We already lost Alvin Kamara and Nick Chubb this week. Come on now, don't do it. Come on, man. This shit is getting crazy out here. Like, damn, we're gonna be starting me and Javar in a minute.
Not me. I'm recovering from the Achilles.
Hey, Javar out too, but the fancy guys took Javar. Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh man, we ain't got nothing else, man. We gonna go ahead and get up out of here. You got anything else? Let me find the outro. Peace.
Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session.